Liberia is our only home. Liberia is our only home. We cannot sit and watch Liberia die. Liberia is our home. Liberia is our home. The only home we know. Let's fight to bring it back. Take it from the rogues. Take it from the thieves. Let us punish them. Liberia is our home. Liberia is our home. All you patriots rise. The time has come to end the massive stealing of our wealth. Rise, oh patriots. Rise, my patriots. Time to get our nation back. Liberia is our only home. We cannot sit and watch Liberia die. Liberia is our home, the only home we have. Rise up, patriots. Rise up, loyalists. Commander Chesson is calling the order of the day. Liberia is our home, the only home we know. Liberia cannot die. We owe it to our parents. We owe it to our elders. We owe it to the ancients. We owe it to our parents. Liberia cannot die. Rise up, oh patriots. Rise up, oh loyalists. Liberia is our home, the only home we have. Fight, fight for Liberia. Fight, fight for freedom. Fight, fight to free Liberia. Liberia is our home, the only home we ever know. Liberia is our pride, the inheritance we have. Rise, patriots, rise, loyalists, rise, Liberians. Follow Commander Chesson. Follow Commander. Follow Commander Chesson. Rise, rise. Attorney Commander Chesson shall lead the order. Save Liberia. Free Liberia. Follow Commander Chesson. He will set the path. He will set the path. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Tony Commander Galpohkpa Chesson Talk Show. Today is June 24th. We rise to another day in America and in Liberia, where both of my countries are faced with problems. Both of my countries are faced with challenges that our leaders must confront, that our leaders must handle as mature people, as people who are considerate of their constituents, of people who want to maintain a standard quo, a status quo that is wholesome, functioning, that adds to the upliftment of our societies here in America and in Liberia. So this is a call to action. This is a call to action because in the United States of America, we are still reeling from the January 6th incident that has caused our country to be reeling in states of confusion amongst our leaders, especially. But out of all of this, we rise this morning with a glimmer of good news that 10 Republicans have decided to join the Democrats in reviewing our proposed bill for infrastructure development. Now, this is good news because after all this confusion, after all this letdown of our democratic system, all this violence incited by Donald Trump just to stay in power against our constitutional demand, against civilization, against truth, justice, and the American way of life. We are reeling from Donald Trump and his deceitful, treacherous behavior, which he still hasn't accounted for, and which he still must account for. He and Mitch McConnell and all these representatives and senators of the Republican Party that have gone astray, run amok. We got to reel our people back in. This is not American. This is not constitutional. And it's incumbent upon Americans to do what must be done to bring our country back better than ever before. A long line of constitutional democracy, diversity. We got to change our country. We can't go back to the 1960s. We can't go back to the 1970s or 1980s. We got to move ahead. We got to prepare America for the future of traveling the globe. I mean the universal globe. From traveling the worlds to worlds. This is the challenge we face. Not going back into the 1960s with racism and Mitch McConnell and all these old men that want to perpetrate greed and racism for their own upliftment. We can't go back to that. Republicans and Democrats got to come together with a common sense and understanding of what is necessary for the growth and development of our country today. On the platform of diversity, a platform of Americanism, not dividing our country, but strengthening our country and our democratic system. So thank God for Joe Biden. And that's why I always state when I put on his thing, God's time is the best. Because he wanted to be president before it failed. And that wasn't his time. But now is his time. Now we need a fatherly figure to lead us back on a better path than America has ever been on. And similarly, we have to think about Liberia in the same vein. Because our country has gone astray, has run amok. And we got to bring our country back far better than it has ever been before. We don't want to go back to 1980s and 1990s. We had all the tribalism and corruption and nepotism. No, we want to bring our country back better than ever before, under the rule of law, under democracy, under system of justice, not system of corruption and lies and deceitfulness that we got in our country today still. Where our government officials, we can't trust them. We don't know whether they're telling us the truth or they're lying. Where everything is about greed, property, stealing everything that don't belong to you. This is not the country we want. But we have been on this path for too long. Enriching foreigners and killing our own people. We got all these people now coming to Liberia. All these third world countries coming to Liberia, infesting our country with the people, claiming the Liberians trying to take our land, trying to change the direction of our country and our democracy. We can't do that. But it's happening because of greed. Because Liberians are selling our country to foreigners for petty change. Look at all the problems we're having in our country, lights, water. These foreigners involved in it. They're involved in it. They're some of the same people selling the electricity. They are the same people bypassing LEC in all these companies. Why? Because they got the money. Our country is suffering. And they have the money. So they can corrupt our country. They can bribe our people. Destroy our system. And it has been going on for too long. This is not the way Liberia is supposed to be. Our people are suffering. With these idiots leading our country today, our people are suffering more. Because they're selling everything. They're selling everything. Our country not for us no more. Yeah, they're playing laws of people coming from foreign country into our country to survive. And these the same people will be bribing our people to take our lands and stuff like that. You see, why we gotta be a sitting duck for foreigners to come and get wealthy on our country and hand out food to us because they're wealthy more than us. They come and enrich themselves on our country and our wealth because our leaders are criminals. Fanny Sherman, Prince Johnson, Moyi, all these people, criminals, bringing criminals in our country to take our land, to displace our people. No. We got to strengthen up our immigration process. People can't come from foreign countries because they're dying and they come here to steal our land and depress our people and bribe our government officials. This is what happened in Liberia. That's why we got to change our immigration process. Get some of these people out of our country. Let them go back to their countries. No. These people can't come in our country and claim that they're Liberians and want to steal our land and own our properties, bribe our government officials, sleep with them. The useless warlords and criminals leading our country today. Got these people challenging us for our properties, telling us that they are citizens of our country. And our country is reeling in confusion. Our leaders have sold our country for little or nothing. Trinkless. We can't go through this. We can't go through this. So let me put up my lesson. We love the world. We love the world. But at this moment in our lives, in our existence, Our leaders are selling everything. And we got to reel them in and punish them. And punish their associates who are foreigners in our country. We'll punish them before we deport them. We'll not just deport you. We'll flog you with our government officials. We'll flog you. You're participating with these evil people in our country to deprive us of our wealth and resources and impoverish our people and suffer our young children. When we catch you, we'll flog you with our government officials, put you in jail, then deport you. But you got to serve the time in our country for your actions. And God help us. Jesus Christ as our God will deal with you. You can't come from foreign countries and come in our countries and take our land and bribe our people and put us into more hardship because you got money. But we're coming home. We're going to straighten our country. We're going to set our country right. Get rid of our enemies. Punish them. Then send them away. The time of the true Liberian people's revolution is now. Our destiny is in our hands. Our future in our hands. Let me put up my topics. My first topic today is about the Providence school system. We know, let me put them up first. We're looking at the Providence, Rhode Island school system and the loss of learning that's impacting our young communities and society. Then my second topic is the issues in Liberia today. And my third subject is the war crimes code. It's a must. It's a must. So let's start my first topic. We see since we've been in this COVID-19 lockdown, all these deaths of parents, all this hardship we have been through since this past year. This past year alone. And now that we're beginning to open up America, in Providence especially, we notice that many of the kids that attended our schools are not returning. We have a learning loss. And this is becoming a serious problem because when you have up to 40% of the students not returning to school because of some family problems, because they lost parents who cared for them, and now they are displaced. Some of them have to go to work to earn a living, to support their families. This is becoming a grave problem in Providence, Rhode Island. I don't know about the other states, but I hear them talking about it on the news every now and then. It's becoming a grave problem. These kids were already facing problems before COVID-19. Now with this COVID-19, the atrocities we have faced in terms of deaths and loss of family members is having a profound impact on the students in our schools, especially in our elementary and middle schools, or primary and middle schools. It was on the news yesterday the officials from the Providence School Department were talking about it. We've seen a lot of changes since we are beginning to open up, since people are beginning to move freely again with the vaccines. We're beginning to notice all the breakdown in our society. The gang violence, the personal shootings, the individual shootings, and all these things going on in our country because our society was locked down. Our society was dysfunctional. Our society was at a standstill. Now we're beginning to start up again. We're seeing all these problems popping up. Problems with families, problems with our kids, problems with their learning abilities and possibilities. So we're having a grave problem in our society. And Providence, Rhode Island is no exception. We are feeling it too. We have parental issues, we have student issues, we have faculty issues. People not returning to work. Kids not returning to school. Kids who were in school now have got to go to work to help their families. How do we balance the change in our society? We can't lose our children to uneducation. We can't lose them. 40% of our students now returning to school and not doing well. It's a problem. Those that are returning to got to take the vaccine. Got to make sure they live up to the health situation. Kids who are having problems in our school with food and hunger issues, those issues haven't changed. Some of them have gotten worse. Some of the children have lost their parents. Some of them have lost their guardians. Too many things were brought to a standstill because of COVID-19. And now that we're starting up again, we can't afford to lose our young population from education. We can't afford to have this big learning gap in our society. And we see most of the school systems are trying their best to catch up. They're having summer programs. They're doing everything to bring their kids up to par. But we have to confront the loss that we are facing with children not returning to school. How do we deal with it? How can the schools and the community help to restart our society, to get our young people back in school, to get our whole nation back on the right path? This is a serious problem, and we need the whole community to get involved with it. It can't only be the school problem. It can't only be individual family problems. This is a national issue, and we have to get involved with it. We have to find means to help our schools reach out to these kids. We in the community got to reach out to families and set up means to help these children go back to school. Our Providence community is in danger. And it is incumbent upon all of us to turn to the school department and find out how we can help, how we can get these kids back into school. It's affecting especially the minority groups. Is it affecting our group? Why? Because we have always been the struggling group. We have always been at the bottom of the totem pole. So when anything impacts our country, it impacts our communities more. And we got to understand that. We got to understand that diversity starts with us as well as our leaders. We got too many Hispanic and Black kids out of school. These are the kids that need to be encouraged to go back to school. It is incumbent upon our people and our society to help the school department. This is a grave issue in our society. We need to return, excuse me, we need to return our kids to school. The school department is not the only responsible body for caring for our students. All of us got to get involved. Every community leader, every community organization got to get involved. We're helping to return these students to school. We're helping the school department identify some of these students that need help. 40% of our students not returning to school is a grave problem. It's a grave problem. It's not a school problem. It's a community problem. Our community got too much issues already. We're battling impoverishment. We're battling health care. We're battling social welfare. We're battling everything. And we got to keep our kids in school. We can't afford to have our kids out of school. And we got like the school department. They're not the only responsible body or entity for our children. Our people in the community got to be responsible too. We got to step to the plate. All these community organizations that cater to helping community members got to join the school department. Get in touch with the school department. Set up programs to help get these kids back into school. Help meet their needs. What are their needs? We know that a lot of people died. We've lost a lot of people, especially elders. So many young kids are impacted in our community all over America. So where our teachers are stressing the issues of students not returning to school, or students not meeting their educational obligations, and they call it out in the community, we got to get involved. 48% of students out of school is no good example for the future of our country. So, to all of you out there who know these kids, who knows some of the problems our children are facing, need to step up, need to get the community more engaged, need to conscientize our people of the importance and significance of returning to school. Yes, we know there are problems. We know plenty of people have died. We know some of the kids, especially the older ones, got to step up to the plates and help. But we can't let them lose the sense of their education, the sense of how significant it is for us to have a wholesome, functioning society again. And our kids are an integral part of our wholesome, functioning society. So we need to reach out to them. And I'm appealing to my Providence community. I'm appealing to every group in this community to pay attention to our schools, to get in touch with the schools, work with the schools, and try to get our children back into school. The pandemic is still impacting our people. and especially our children and youth, and we cannot neglect their future, nor their interests, no matter how terrible the disease is. We have a responsibility to maintain our posterity for a better future. So, my people in Providence, I'm asking you to step to the plate. I'm telling you of the significance of the problem in our school system, with 40% of students not attending school, 40% of students being impacted in our schools. That's a problem. And this is a community issue, not only a Providence school issue or the parental issues. No, this is a community-wide issue. And our community leaders and concerned citizens of our various communities need to get involved with this. Because from the community, it goes to the nation. It goes to the state. And you see the problem we're having already with this January 6th incident. With a lot of these people not being in mainstream American system. And feeling disgruntled and feeling left out. We don't want these kind of things, because the more our society is uneducated, excuse me, the more is the possibility for us to incur violence, for us to incur situations that are not conforming to our civilized society. We already see January 6th. It's a result of certain portions of our society not being fully educated, not being taken advantage of all the things that they need to. Now with the financial situation, with all these different situations, they're disgruntled. They feel they lost something that they had before and they need it back. We are realizing that they alone are not Americans. We have all other Americans here in this country. And we cannot be selfish. We cannot neglect our responsibility and duties to others as we will have them do unto us. And above all, we can't have these things impacting our youth and our children, because that's where it has to. When we have large percentage of our students missing from school, these are recipes for future violence, future incidents of what happened on January 6th. So we need to rise up. We need to step to the plate as a community. And we need to join the school department and find out what has to be done to help these kids get back into school. To drop that number of 40% to little or nothing. Have our kids return to school. Find means to help them. Because education is important for peace and stability in our country. For continuance of a wholesome functioning society, we need an educated future. So my people, this is just an appeal. I heard this on the news yesterday. I heard the people from the school department speaking about it and how significant it is for us to help these children come back to school, catch up in their learning. A lot of summer school programs going on. to help alleviate some of these missing hours of school. So we appreciate our school department, and we hope that community members will get involved with the Providence School Department especially, and help to bring many of our students back to school. This is a community-wide effort, and we need to take it seriously. The time of our people is now, of helping to raise the consciousness of all people in our community is now. And we can't neglect on that duty. We can't neglect on it. All our communities are impacted and need to act cohesively in resolving some of these problems, especially when it comes to the education of our children and the aggrandizement and advancement, upliftment. Okay? So that's my first topic. My second topic, we got to look at the issues in Liberia. There are too many brewing issues in Liberia. And many of these issues just around neglect, just around greed, just around incompetence. That's all. These issues are self-made, and they need not be self-made. But first, let me look at the other issue that isn't self-made, COVID-19. We got a lot of situations in Liberia right now. A lot of people in our suffering nation dying because of COVID-19. The cases are rising every day. Monrovia is a hot spot. Not everybody wearing masks. Everybody doing everything with masks. And it's a necessity. It's a necessity. So that's one of the issues we're going to take care of. And on top of that issue, we have all the other useless political issues that are just dragging us down. You know, then morning we wake up talking about Eugene Fagon and how we are just fired him because of statement he made about the Congress of the United States of America interview with Yasini and Jerome Verdi and all these people. He got him and made all kind of comments. And George Weah fired him immediately. But people like Fagon, they've been problems in this government for long. We've been telling them. You've been telling them. You know, but when we depend on only one group of people, when we don't see the sense in building a nation, but we're building a clique of people, just useless people, there's a problem. There's a problem. Because Liberia for all of us is just not for a clique. And what happens when a clique starts to fall apart? Everything breaks up. Everything breaks up. Now here it is, it's falling apart. McGill is in the hospital we hear. Some people say he's not in the hospital. Some people say he's in the hospital. Fargo on fire. They're beginning to crumble. And when they crumble, they will fall. And this is lack of responsible leadership. This is lack of responsible governance. This is lack of responsible men and women leading our country. You think it's a joke. Everything is a joke. You know? Now the fire going, he go to the house, sit down there, make a tip. Talking about he playing football. Excuse me. Last 15 minutes, they set him down They got rid of him. They set Toya down. They said all these people. This guy he's just been like this all the time. And we've been telling you, this Fargon guy is one of the problems to this government. But everybody just looking for leadership some kind of way. So now he's relieved. Where are they going to put him next? Our government is a recycling government. You move from one spot, they'll put you in another. Where you going now? We got to watch that. Okay? But these are the dysfunctional things happening in our country. Eugene Falcon just stirring everything up now. He's coming back to haunt him from his own statements. Okay? And all of this about surrounding the 15K. All of this coming around the same time with the stealing of money. You can. How can we run the country? How can we run the country with people just giving our money like that? Giving out the money. People not working for the money. They're just getting free money to do stupid shit. Free money. And you hear somebody say, oh, we're not getting the money back. We need it for this. What you're doing in those counties? No roads in our state country. No roads. So what kind of development would there be? There can't be no development. You go all over my roads, they got potholes bigger than a crevice from a mountain, from a volcano or something. These places with these big holes, man. Over 200 years almost. We're still going through this thing. It's just impossible. It's impossible. It's possible. Now, as pragmatic as our country is, you got all the foreigners bringing the people to Liberia now because in their country, COVID-19 is raging. So they're traveling to Liberia, bringing the COVID-19 to Liberia too, to our people. Why? Why? But we got to take responsibility for ourselves. And if we don't take responsibility for ourselves and our country and our people, other people will come and take it from us. Because the world not getting better. The world getting worse. Situation getting worse. People dying needlessly. And everybody's searching for home. For home. Now, Indians who never used to come to Liberia, they bring in all their families and everything. And what do you think that would do? That would displace Liberians. Because when the Indians and people bring their families, there's no work for the Liberians. Their family got to work in the stores. So that causes Liberians to be displaced, ill-treated. And these are the things we're going through. Just now you say all kind of problems. You go to the store, these people, racism, separation, hatred, all kind of crimes coming to start coming up now. Because when people bring their own family, their family got to work for them to eat. So they're not going to be employing Liberian people no more when their family can do the jobs. So right there we're displaced. And that's why we can't tolerate all these people coming to our country. We got to see how much of them we can afford and how much of them we can't afford. Because we're already having a problem with expatriates taking over our businesses. We already have problem with expatriates doing business that Liberian people are supposed to be doing. All because they got money. Now you have these train loads and plane loads of people coming from different countries running to Liberia because of Ebola. And all our government officials are so corrupt, they have no sense of patriotism or loyalty. We know they're going to sell out our country. Everything will be $1 here, $1 there, $5 there, $5 there. And we sell our country out. So, there we are again, at the bottom of the totem pole. Every time we take one step up, somebody comes to step us down. But it's on us. Are we masters of our own destiny? Are we masters of our own fate? And unless we can answer those questions, we are always subjected to servitude, to serving other people. Okay? So, with the 15K, the COVID-19, our legislature confused about where they stand in life, elections around the corner, everybody seeking a foot in the door. Will this issue ever be resolved? Will we ever have strong government officials representing us that will put the interests of the Liberian people first, before and above theirs? Can we survive Liberian leaders who depend on our country for their hustling? They come home with intentions just to work for government and no personal interest or business on their own. How long? How long? How long? How long? We're getting a new era now. Whether you're lucky or not, we're getting a new era. And the more we advance, the more manpower will not be needed. Unless we can set up programs to ensure that we mix technology and human power in a significant way to allow people to survive. But look at everything moving around. Everything is computerized now. Computerized. So it behooves us to pay attention to our own path, our own direction, our own lives, our own interests, or else we'll fail time and time again. And if we know better, and sitting down and see our leaders do the wrong thing over and over, and we see that these things they're doing are impacting our lives in a negative way, we're not benefiting from it. They're benefiting from it. And even their beneficial ideals don't meet world standards because they are getting tringlets or nothing. Just for power, political power. Look at Facon, that is sitting the scene. You know, always thinking about money, 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 but no real impact in the interest of the Liberian people. You know, and all of this anatomic again is proving itself in coming out full force. And God saying, you see, I told you. I told you. Because that's our country. It's up to us. We can watch these people do this thing over and over, or we can take a stand and say no more. No more. And that brings me to my third and final point. If we must say no, then we must stand up and provide the means to let these criminals know that our no is a no. And it's a resounding no that will stand on and punish your own. Because our voices speak louder than all of you. We are the people. You are the leaders. You are a minute situation when it comes to us. And it's our duty to make sure that these leaders live up to their responsibilities and duties to our country and our people. And where they fail, we must be able to stand up and say, no, enough is enough. Time for punishment. We have never done this before. We have never demanded that our leaders be punished. Now is the time. We see that after 50, 60 years of war, ain't bringing us nowhere. We're right back to where we started. Huh? Right back. And probably even worse. Probably even worse than we were. Why? Because our leaders have a culture of impunity that does not work in our country well. Not for us. Not for all of us. And this practice of corruption and impunity must cease and desist for Liberia to grow and live. We've been in it too long. Trust and don't pay. Steve and Steve make God laugh. All these things brought us to where we are now. And that is why it's important that we have a war crimes court to set standards and principles in our society. That Liberia is not for families. Liberia is not for certain people. Liberia is for the Liberian people. And if you don't understand this, we'll make you understand. We'll make you understand. We'll make you understand. Because until people understand these things, our society and our government, our people will be things to hustle from. For people to come for really hustle. And this is not what it's for. So that's what makes the War and Economic Crimes Court a must. A must. People kill our people by the thousands. Then they come and we honor them with senatorial positions and positions of power in our country for life. Position of wealth and enjoyment. Massive pay for life. While we suffer and be afraid of these same people. We've been in it for too long. We've been in there for too long. And it must cease and desist now. We must punish the rogues and the murderers now. They can't get away with that. They can't get away with that. Why would people kill our people for years? Then we reward them with big job to talk for us. To say that our leaders, these murderers and heinous criminals, you'll say that our leaders, now they're challenging our society. We want war crimes court and they're telling us, no, you can't get war crime court. We'll change the TRC to TJC, Transitional Justice Commission. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? These people think they're smarter than us. Finance Sherman, who is one of the big deceitful lawyers in our country, has joined the opposition to destroy our country. Why these handful of people won't destroy our country? These chairmen of the different committees in Liberian legislature. And the part about it, all the chairmen are the criminals of Liberia. All the chairmen of this committee are criminals. And they're making laws for us to guide us. Then you think these people want to be punished? So they change the TRC to Transitional Justice Commission. What is that? What is the Transitional Justice Commission? Transitional Justice Commission is supposed to be a commission set up to investigate you. For you to tell us what you did with our money. That's a Justice Commission. But after the PRC has passed a recommendation on to the people for a war crimes court to deal with the atrocities of these evil people. Now they're telling us, no, we're changing from TRC to TTC, and you're going to give us more money to fund it. You see the slap? This is an insult. We charge the people of corruption and want evaluation and answers to our question, and they're telling us, no, your quest will be changed to our quest. Your want war crimes code, we want traditional justice commission. So we will get it. We are your leaders. Keep quiet. Shh. We got it. Shh. We got it. And they got it. Why? Because we let them. We let them. We let them do these things they want to do because they think we're just a talking society. Oh, they will just talk and forget about it. Is this all we are? Just a talking society? Is this all we are? Just a bunch of people who just talk hot air with no meaning? I don't think so. I just feel we need to become conscious of our goals and objectives and stand up for them. Stand up for them. Stand up for them. Because we are the people. We are the government of Liberia. Without us, there can be no government. Without us, there can be no entity to stand up to lead Liberia. So we are the integral leadership of the country. We are the tax holder, the shareholders. This is our country. We hire these people to work for us. And if they're not performing, they're not honest and trustworthy, they are deceitful liars and traitors, we can fire them. We can fire them just as George Weah fired his government official. We can fire George Weah. And my people, the time of the people is now. George Weah is treading on shaky grounds. And we, the people, have the power to challenge him and bring all of them down. But the time of the people is now. And until we know our responsibilities and duties to each other and to our country, these criminals will continue to deceive, mislead, misguide, and enrich themselves of our stupidity and failures to stand up as countrymen, country-patriots, country-loyalists of the Republic of Liberia. Aluta! Continue, my class is done. My kids, this is just to tell us we have some serious problems. And with the impact of COVID-19, it's exacerbated this problem to the point where it's adding confusion, nonsensical bullshit that needs to be weeded out so that our children can have the opportunity to live and grow in a wholesome, functioning society, in a wholesome environment, with love, with understanding, and with comfortability. That's our plight. It's our right. It's a constitutional guarantee. When the Constitution says pursuit of happiness, we have a right to be comfortable in our happiness. So, ladies and gentlemen, my class is done for the day. I hope you all understand that the issues in Liberia today are self-made. There's nothing constitutional. There's nothing wrong with our system, our Indian system. It's wrong with our leadership and the people we support and put into power, who must be punished, who must be reeled in, who must be made to know that they are now our masters. We elected them and chose them. They are our choices, not our masters. And choices can be changed and scrapped. So take heed of yourself and govern yourselves accordingly. Have a good day. Just to stress the importance of the need for change. Liberia is our only home. Liberia is our only home. We cannot sit and watch Liberia die. Liberia is our home. Liberia is our home. The only home we know. Let's fight to bring it back. Take it from the rogues. Take it from the thieves. Let us punish them. Liberia is our home. Liberia is our home. All you patriots rise. The time has come to end the massive stealing of our wealth. Rise, oh patriots. Rise, my patriots. Time to get our nation back. Liberia is our only home. We cannot sit and watch Liberia die. Liberia is our home, the only home we have.